Hey guys, Preston here. So I was confronted with a question the other day, and that question was, why do you need to carry a weapon if you are a Christian, and you're gonna go to heaven? What is the point of carrying a weapon? Why would you carry anything for self-defense? Because you don't need that. If it's your time to go, you're gonna go, is what the person tells me. So, I tried my best to be open-minded with this and understand their point of view. And what their belief is that if God sends somebody, or some person, not God sending them, if some person comes in and shoots up the church and you're going to go to heaven anyway, what does it matter? Who cares? That's God taking you, right? But I find this way of thinking disturbing on a lot of levels, because there's probably a lot of people at that church who are not saved yet, or who are not truly saved, And if those people die, then you failed them. They've died, and they're not going to go to heaven, So it's really disturbing to think about it in a non-resistant sort of mindset. I think people who believe that are really taking seriously Jesus' words to turn the other cheek if someone hits you, But I do not believe personally that applies to all situations. Now, sometimes we have people who throw around insults, and I do believe, if someone's going to sit there and insult you or mock you or drag you down in some ways, that you should not do the same to them. But if we're talking about your life here, it's a little bit more important than that. And it's just a question, did Jesus advocate self-defense, or does he advocate self-defense? I think he does, because say you don't do anything and you get killed in some sort of terrible, awful situation because you didn't have anything to defend yourself. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to heaven now, right? But there's so much more you could have fulfilled on earth before you died. And there are people who you probably could have influenced and helped them walk to the Lord. And you've lost that opportunity, so you failed a lot of people. It's tough, because it's just such a terrible way to think about things, If you're just going around your whole life, well, if I die, I die, and that's just the end of it. And so I'm happy with myself right where I'm at. And that's dangerous, because you can get complacent, and it's going to cause problems for you. So, just been dwelling on that, and the more I think about it, the more disturbing that becomes. So, and also the question was raised when the person saw this. It's why would you need that if you're getting... I'm like, well, I like this because, this is discreet to carry. It's thin, nice, tucks down your shirt well. This is not something that's obvious that's going to freak people out, because I know a lot of people do not care to see anything like a knife, even though it's no big deal. And it's they were like, what are you using it for? I'm like, well, this is mainly just for cutting stuff, opening things. It's don't you think somebody will have scissors? I'm like, yeah, but this is a little bit quicker than scissors, And the person was like, well, why would you even carry a knife in church? Would you ever use that as a self-defense thing? I'm like, if the circumstances made it to where I had to, yes, I'd be happy to have this on me. I'd be really thankful. But they looked at it in a way. It's well, if you're going to die, why are you going to fight against that? Why are you going to try to save your life like that if you're going to go to heaven, if you're good with the Lord? I don't see the point in carrying a weapon, is what this person tells me. First off, I never called it a weapon. I called it a knife for opening stuff, So I love how people always turn it into a weapon. It has to be a weapon. It has to be this awful, murderous thing for killing people, It's evil, something terrifying. You know, why would you murder somebody? The Bible says that's wrong. Blah blah blah. I'm like, this isn't for murdering people at all. It's for opening stuff. Good Lord, give it a break. It's like, well, that looks scary and whatever. I don't care. That's why I got something that's so small and thin, because, you know, people don't notice that. So, the question is just disturbing overall, because it's suggesting that you should not defend your life. I'm like, what about the people around you, you know? I said, what if it's my friend's life, you know? And say that friend's not saved. By not having something, you are a liability. But also, you're a liability by carrying something. Because if a person can wrestle it away from you, they can do damage with that object. It's not a weapon. So, pros and cons, you know. But if somebody's going to come in and stab somebody or shoot somebody, you know, and I can do something about it, I'm not going to sit there and just let it happen. That's madness, because you failed your friends. If you're not carrying something, any sort of weapon or blade or a gun on you, and you can't stop the situation, then you are pretty much permitting that situation. One thing I read, and I have it right here, and I'm going to go into this in more detail in part 2. Not resisting evil is an evil of omission. An evil of omission can be just as evil as an evil of commission. So, by not resisting that evil, it's almost as bad as just letting that, or as being the one who allowed that evil to happen in the first place. So, either way, it's wrong. If you can stop a situation, stop it. So think ahead, you know. What do you need to end a bad situation? Some sort of weapon, you know. And for all these people saying, you know, Jesus said just turn the other cheek, you know, walk away from the problem. He actually did instruct his disciples to fight if they had to. And let me see if I can find this. I have it written down up there. Give me a second. Alright, so this was during the Last Supper, you guys, and Jesus was talking about the hardships to come and whatnot. Let me find it. Okay, so here you are. We'll start right where Jesus was telling Peter about the rooster and whatever. So verse 34 of Luke chapter 22. Jesus answered, I tell you, Peter, before the rooster crows today, you will deny 3 times that you know me. Then, right after this, I don't know how people miss this so awfully. It says, Then Jesus asked them, when I sent you without purse, bag, or sandals, did you lack anything? His disciples answered, nothing. He said to them, but now, if you have a purse, take it, and also a bag. And if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. Why? So, that's interesting right there. He's telling them to sell their cloak and buy a sword if they do not have one. So, if I just read that, all I'm seeing is that Jesus is telling you to buy something to defend yourself, you know. Keep a sword with you. Because if you die, you cannot complete Christ's work on earth. It's pointless. So, I don't see how you can be in the mindset to just let people die and let yourself die because you are saved. It's like, I'm going to heaven, so why would you carry a weapon to defend your life? You know, if God sends somebody that's gonna take your life, and it's not God sending them, that's just a person coming in to shoot up a place, you know. If something happens and you die, it was God's will to die is what they said. And I'm like, or God's will to let you die. I'm like, okay. Yeah, but if I'm carrying this and I can save my life and the life of my friends, then it was not God's will to let us die. It was His will for us to survive. So, just, it's really important, guys. Defend your loved ones, you know, your wife, your kids, your friends, whoever may be, your parents, anybody, family, no matter who it is. You need to be there to defend them and stand up for them. Because if you just let an evil act occur against them and they die, it's almost the same as you being the cause of their death. So, that's something to think about. We've got something, I found something online to go over, and we can look at this in detail in a future video. And that'll help put into words what I said, but a little bit better. Alright, guys. So keep that in mind. Defend yourself, defend your families. Always carry something, your liability. If someone dies and you could have stopped it, it's your fault that they died. That's really all, guys. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless.